Hey everyone, Todd Cahill here, the author of the book You vs. You, and we're on today at the You vs. You show. And we are bringing it live all over Facebook and streaming on YouTube as well as other platforms. But as you can see, we're on Facebook right now, and we're excited to be on this show today. This is the show where you can really learn how to win the greatest battle that you'll ever face in your entire life. No matter if you're 8 years old, 18 years old, or 81 years old. The battle is yourself. You versus you. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you like the person that you see in the mirror, or do you despise the person that you see in the mirror? Are you keeping your promises? Are you living your dreams? Are you successful in your own right? Are you breaking promises? Are you editing yourself on social media so much that you're not really living who you truly are? And we're here on this show to free you from all of that. We're here to help you win along the greatest battle you ever faced yourself and give you the resources. And as the author of the best-selling book, You vs. You, it is my pleasure to host this show basically a few times a week, and then also upload it and download it onto Instagram. So today we have a guest, like we always do, that's phenomenal. And she's actually dialed up and dialed in from the great state of Colorado, which I've been there many, many times. It's beautiful. Her name is Tiera Martinez, and she is an incredible person. We just got off a coaching call earlier today. She just joined our institute, the Inside Out Institute, which I happen to be the CEO of, with another founding member, Emmanuel Zavaios, and we're just so excited to hear from her today. So, Tiera, thanks so much for being on. Before I get into it, you are a leader. There's no doubt about it. Looking at your accomplishments, you've been in sales, you've been in marketing, you've been an entrepreneur, you're a mother of two, and you've been married now for 13 years. And even in your entrepreneurship business, you've earned trips. You are top saleswoman. It seems like whatever you put your mind to, no matter what the circumstances, you're going to go after it once you have that clarity. And of course, you recently joined the Inside Out Institute. So, and you've also managed a successful kickboxing gym. So that's really interesting. So tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit, your Dun & Bradstreet story, if you will, and then we're going to get into some awesome questions that I have lined up. So again, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Go ahead and share, and we'll get into the questions. Thanks so much for being on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on here. So thank you for the invite and letting me kind of share some of my story. As Todd has mentioned, I am a mom of two. My daughter is going to be 15 next month, and then my son is 12. And we live here in Colorado. We've moved around a lot with my husband's work with the oil field. And so it's really given me the opportunity to kind of branch out and kind of get out of my comfort zone and, learn different people's cultures and meet a lot of people. So with that, I've just, had a journey of really like growing as a person. And I've had a lot of growth from the time that, we started out our lives right out of high school and since then.
Oh, cool. So tell me, so a lot of times people in the you versus you battle, it's amazing to me, actually, the older that I get, and even like looking at my own family members and sometimes, even spouses or, it's just interesting. It's like once we hit maybe a certain age, I don't know exactly what that age is. Maybe it's 25, maybe it's 24, maybe it's 30. I don't know. But our subconscious mind really likes whatever situation that we're in. It could be an abusive relationship. It could be an awesome relationship. It could be in a nice home with okay money in the bank, or it could be no money. But we kind of get comfortable in that situation. So for you, what you've learned is getting out of your comfort zone. And the Navy SEALs, like I talk about in my book, they always say you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable always. And when you live a life of living outside of your comfort zone, what happened to you? So tell me a little bit about that for you, your perspective on being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yeah. So like along my journey, when I had got started in sales, a lot of people know this and then a lot of people don't. I had a phobia of talking on the phone. And so in sales, that can't happen, right? Like you're going to be doing phone calls all day long and you're going to be meeting new people. And so for me, it was like, do I want to, kind of stay in this box of, just being in my house, being a house mom, with my kids, or do I want to have the opportunity to, see what I can do and how many people can I help by just breaking through that comfort zone and just picking up the phone call and kind of, just punching fear in the face and doing it anyways, right? And so that led me to being able to help a lot of people in, my world, but it also broadened my world as well. I think also is something more personal to me was when I was going through my weight loss journey, I didn't want to, necessarily, I know I needed to work out, but I was intimidated by going to the gym. So even going to the gym was something that was like, I had to break through that.
So tell me about that. So what was your weight loss journey like? Because that's really you versus your health. And why were you scared to go to the gym? What people thought of you, or just you didn't feel like you were there yet? You didn't want to be seen, or what? Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, I think all of that, or a little bit of all of that. I was very insecure with how I looked. And so when you think of, going to the gym, you think of all these fit people there. But then when you kind of stop and take a look, and think about it, everybody's there working on themselves. And so throughout my journey, I ended up losing 50 pounds. And that really, helped me be able to kind of share who my personality and who I was out to other people. So it was that, getting me versus my health was really that day in and day out of that battle of hey, you're going to do it anyways, because maybe you're not seeing the progress right now, but day after day, you're going to see the progress.
So what causes somebody to wake up one day and say, damn it, I'm going to lose 50 pounds? So what caused you to do that? What led to that moment, that choice? Because we have the power of choice as human beings, and we could choose to be fat, we could choose to be skinny, we could choose to be muscular, and I don't care what anyone says. But I have a thyroid condition. Okay, I don't care.
Right.
Just get off your butt and work. Okay, it's yeah, we all have conditions, we all have excuses, we all have this, but we've also seen people in wheelchairs that have 8-packs. That have muscles and they're always working out. They have no legs. Okay. So, what made you make that decision to just enough is enough? I'm going to do something about it. Was it one thing? Was it kind of multiple things leading up to that?
I think there was just, one day where I woke up and the scale just kept going the wrong way. Here my son is 2, he's my youngest, and I was trying to, I wanted to be better for them. And so I didn't want to go if I was going to buy pants, I wanted to be able to buy them a size smaller. And I wanted to be able to, I was overweight, I was exhausted. And as I started that journey, I realized that the food that I was also serving my kids was also going to lead them down that same path. And so as a leader, I think that's where that really came from, was I started leading when I had my kids, and, they're following me. And at that point, when they're young, they don't have, the same choices I do to put the foods that I want to in my mouth. I'm feeding them what I'm giving them. And I think that was a turning point in, I wanted my life, my kids' life, to be better than where I was at. And I wanted to be able to do, have the energy to do the things, with them that they wanted to do. I didn't want to be sitting out on the sidelines because I was overweight and too tired to do the things that they wanted to do.
Yeah. So as a parent, so I have 3 kids. I have a 13-year-old, 11-year-old son, and a 7-year-old daughter. So girl, boy, girl. And, at that age, they just want ice cream and they want candy. I mean, it's just, so, how are you able to parent, when all they want is macaroni and cheese and, candy and pizza? Are you just just kind of put it, you just hey, enough is enough. You better eat this, damn it. Or are you how have you kind of developed them that have also healthy habits early in their life? Because I think it's very important, because that's what happened to me. I started to develop really early healthy habits, even at 10, that made me beyond driven to now I'm 39 and I still have a six, so I'm still healthy and I'm still working out, So how do you do that as far as parenting goes? Because I know we have a lot of parents watching, and sometimes even us as adults, we're just like, we're eating the macaroni and cheese because it looks so good. So how can we be healthy parents and also give our children healthy food? I mean, just what do you do?
Yeah. So, I mean, at first it started with just being the example for them. And, then it also goes back to educating. So even at a young age, you're able to still put, that education in on, what are healthier options and how it benefits them. So it's really easy to just say, like, here, eat this because it's healthy. But even as kids, they want to know why and what's the difference. And so if you're giving them the benefits of, why they should be doing those things, eating those foods, fruit snacks versus actually the real fruit instead, then they get to make that conscious choice too of like, oh, I, want to, be healthy as well. And so that was kind of where it really started. But then also giving them, yes, they get to choose, obviously they're older. But as I've watched them, go through, and even if they're going over to friends' houses, or if, they're playing a soccer game and they get fruit snacks and, whatever, they don't even choose to eat them because it doesn't even taste good to them.
Right.
And so I think just, the biggest thing is educating. But then also, there were foods that they didn't like at first, and there was kind of like that kickback. But then when I explained to them the process of, hey, even as a baby, you give your children, food more than one time. So every single time, whether they liked it or not, they always had to try the new thing before they got something that they were already used to. Or I would put one new unfamiliar food in with something that they were already familiar with, and they had, and they ate that until it became something that their taste buds and just the texture of it was, familiar to them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Very good. I mean, I think that's great for parents too. It's not just making them do it because kids won't listen, but if you're really taking the time to educate, and then you're like, well, this helps this, and this helps your bones, and this is going to help you. Like if they're in baseball, if they're, doing that, or ballet or cheerleading, it's like they want to make the team. They want to be known with their friends, and they want to be successful. So even though they might like, yeah, whatever, they do care about it on the inside. So that's great that you're walking them through that. So two last things here. I want to talk about the importance of self-care. And I also want to talk about the big one, finding your purpose. And again, I know you're not like, Rick Warren himself, the purpose-driven life author, but, knowing that you've been through coaching and leadership, it's always great to gain other people's perspectives on the subject of purpose, right? So let's just talk about, before purpose comes self-care. So you can't really have a purpose if you don't love yourself. I mean, you can have a purpose, but you're not going to fulfill it if you're not exercising, meditating, eating right, sharing gratitude, posting inspirational things on social media instead of, I hate this Democrat or this Republican. And, that doesn't do anything. It just causes more hate. Hate begets hate, and love begets love. So, it's what you really put out in the world. So tell me a little bit about, for you now in this moment, what are the KPIs mean to you, the key performance indicators? How do you structure those in your day? And tell me just your personal philosophy on self-care.
Yeah. So, I think that, and I tell people all the time that if you're not able to take care of yourself, like that's where it starts, is to be able to help other people and, have the energy and, just to have the right mindset. It starts with you. And, so taking care of yourself first, then you're able to, pay that forward and help other people do the same and learn how to do the same. And so for me, I, have started adding the meditation in the morning and then in the afternoon. And I've really liked that because it gives me that, like quiet time in the morning for myself. To really gain clarity and focus. And it just gives me like a good, positive way to start the day. And then I also add in, affirmations to start my morning, or, if I choose to listen to anything like music or podcast, it's always something positive so that I'm always feeding that, in throughout my day. And so I get the positive noise. And then I had to, do a workout. So whether it's at the gym or, I do a workout at home, I'm still constantly making sure that I get that in. And then like that afternoon meditation really helps me to, because we get busy, we have, things coming through, things are happening throughout the day. You might get bad news, whatever.
Yeah.
It's helped me to take some time to reset, and it's kind of like a recharge for me to tackle the rest of my day. So I've found it very helpful to do that. And I think the last thing as far as self-care is, sometimes it's overlooked, is having a positive, people that are surrounding you in that positive, environment. I think that it's huge, because even though like you're, feeding yourself those affirmations, it's amazing to have a support system of people that, are in alignment with, your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. And so they're kind of like your cheerleaders as well. It's also feeding you that, positivity throughout your day as well.
Absolutely. Well, before I get to the purpose and end it, we'll talk a little bit about like Inside Out, but I got to say this, we'll spend a minute on it, or 2 minutes. So I know you're married, but I know your husband travels a lot. So with two children, I hate to say this, but I hear this a lot. I'm a single mom. This whole thing, I'm a single mom, drives me nuts. You're a woman who is not married, okay? But it becomes this syndrome that woe is me, feel sorry for me, because there's a lot of also single fathers out there. But no, I don't hear that. I hear I'm a single father. I don't have the money. So how can we? I know you're not a single mom, but I know there's times where you might feel it because your husband's traveling and you're there by yourself sometimes, and you have 2 children, they're running around, killing them, trying to kill each other, and you're on a conference call, or you might be working out. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, what advice can you give mommies out there? Because obviously your job is amazing. It's insane. You're educating, you're nurturing, you're making the world a better place. But at the same time, for you, you're investing in yourself though. Like, you're not saying, well, I can't do this and I can't do that because I have 2 kids. I can't do this. I can't do that. So when we really hit on the importance of self-care, like we are, what can you say to the single moms and the married moms out there? Because I think a lot of women, they're so amazing, but they don't really focus a lot on themselves. They focus only on their kids. They're focused on their spouse. They're not, doing that love on themselves as much, because they are so nurturing and motherly. So what can you say to that to get them to think about more of themselves so that they can be a better version of themselves in the future?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing, and the thing that's made the most help for me, is scheduling it in just like any other appointment.
That's good.
So if you, set out your day for, the day like tomorrow, you're plugging in where can you fit it in, because we can get busy. We say that we wear many hats. We're driving kids around, we're trying to hit all of the games and the practices, and, we're cooking. But I think that, I feel better personally, and I feel like that I have been able to be a better mom and, to my kids, and serve them better because I'm taking the time out for myself. And so if you need to wake up an extra hour early to, do the meditation and to do a quick workout before you start your, regular days, then, add it in there, and just schedule it in just to your routine, because if you're scheduling it like a doctor appointment, you're going to make it.
Thank you, doctor. I like that. Yeah. You're never going to miss your doctor appointment. So why miss your workout? Why miss your meditation? Right. Because that's more important than going to the doctor's office, for sure. So that's where the comfort zone comes in, because again, if you're a single mom or a parent or mom, married, whatever, or husband's traveling, whatever, it's like, I don't feel like it. And this is where the feeling, I'm too tired. I'm tired. Oh my God. So this is where the feeling and that emotion comes in. So tell me a little bit about, your kind of introduction a little bit to the emotion code, and really, doing a deeper dive for yourself, joining Inside Out Institute, finding your purpose, finding your calling, but just knowing that the conscious side, the you versus you, right? We have a brain right here. We got the conscious side, but then we also have the subconscious side. So the subconscious side can really be the emotion code, like Dr. Bradley Nelson wrote about in his book, right? So emotional baggage, removing heart walls, Going from, well, I don't feel like it to, oh, I can't wait. Like, I can't wait. I'm so lucky that I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm not paraplegic. Like, I can wake up. I'm so fortunate. Instead of like, oh, I just can't. I don't have the time to work out. I don't have the time for myself. Oh my God. But they're on, this is 3 hours. It's like, wow, Instagram, who's on now? I don't have time. So
Right.
tell me a little bit about kind of some of your revelations on how important the emotional side is as a parent, as a leader, to really dive into not only finding your purpose, but to actually be living it, to be aligned within that purpose, how important that is.
Yeah, for me, that was something new that, like learning about with the Inside Out Institute that I hadn't ever really, I just didn't know. I just didn't have the information about that. And since, I've been doing my sessions and working on my heart wall, I have been able to have some breakthroughs, just even from the very beginning on being comfortable with who I am. I think that, for me, even though I'm out there, I still was, I learned that I had an idea allergy that Sarah was helping me clear. And so for me to be able to just be bold, and it's really just taken that, I don't know, like it just, like a weight's been lifted off your shoulder, or just you feel more open and confident with yourself. And that's what's allowing me to really break through and take time to, realize what my purpose is, and just having that different, mindset. I think that is huge, instead of, like, oh my gosh, like I have to do a workout today. Is like you said, like you get to do a workout today. And I guarantee you, when you make the time to do it, and you just do it anyways, like you don't always feel like doing it, but when you do, you feel so much better afterwards, and you're always grateful that you did and that you took the time. And I think that, like that's where finding your purpose is huge, because you're finding your place, in where you feel like you fit, and where, like how you can help be of value to somebody else.
Yeah, in my book, I write you versus your future, right? And for me, it's like we can't live in the past, and of course, we can't also live in the future, because there's no such thing. So anyone that fears the future, it's like, well, there's nothing to really fear because it hasn't happened yet. But we get so caught up in that. What if if I set my dreams, if I have the this definition of success, I set my dreams, but what if it doesn't happen? What if people laugh at me? Well, none of that is even happened. Like what if I get married and I end in divorce? Okay, well, what if you get married and you're happily ever after? So it's just about growing in that moment. And but I think the worst thing that you can ever do as a human being, as far as just a profession, is doing something like just for money. And
right. I agree.
I got a job because it's a good salary. Okay, but what do you do? Oh, I have to work at a mechanic shop and I'm on my, back, 12 hours a day. Oh, okay, well, do you love that? No, not really. But hey, it's honest living.
Right.
A lot of things are honest livings. I mean, being a multimillionaire can be an honest living too. So it's that abundance. When you remove heart walls, there's this whole thing called the abundance thing that's there for you now. So the heart walls of jealous, envy, fear, allergies, like you talked about, an idea allergy. People can have money allergies, and all this stuff is like being healed, where it's like you truly are, like even Christ says in the New Testament, I came to live a life, to show you how to live a life of abundance. And I don't want to take anything out of context of the Bible. I know a lot of times people quote scripture here, scripture there, but what it really means to me is we are created in God's own image. So doesn't that make us kind of godlike, where he's given us choices and powers and things that we can do, but then we get sucked down by society or the world, and then we stay comfortable, and we're kind of hanging out with ducks, right? Quack, 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 quack. But then we realize, like, our mother comes down and says, hey, dumbass, you're an eagle. Like, our mother's an eagle and we're an eagle, and like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's like, hey, come with me, right? You're an eagle, and you could just like fly away from the quack. So that's the most beautiful thing about finding your purpose in life, is you realize that you're an eagle, and eagles are leaders. ducks are not leaders. Okay. So, the quackers and the fray, below the fray, they're just the complainers, the whiners. So what you're doing in a sense is you're developing the importance of self-care. You're planning your day before the day starts. You're owning your routine. You're owning your calendar. You are getting out of your comfort zone, as hard as that might be, because it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And you're creating these new experiences, right? So lastly here, courage. Talk to me about the courage to create new experiences and go for it. What has that meant for you even recently?
I think that, it means everything. I think that if you have, the courage to step out and do something new, it takes the fear out of everything. And I think that, we, like you said, we worry about things that we can't control, and we make up these, crazy things in our mind. Yes. And so when we're living in the moment and we just, take that leap of, courage that like, hey, we're just going to do it anyways, it opens up new opportunities that you're not, you never thought possible for you. And then it gives you that self-development and that growth to be able to do the next uncomfortable thing. So I think that, for me, that's been huge. Like being here on this live is, new, and it's
uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable, it's uncomfortable, right? Yeah. And I was just joking with you in the green room, like before we're like on, like, oh, I'm so nervous, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And if you do it over and over again, I was super nervous myself. But yeah, as you can see, you're probably excited to be on now because you did it. So it's like, okay, before, like all day, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I got the interview. Okay, calm down, But now that you're on, it's like, hey, let's sing a song. Let's quote a poem. It's like, who cares, right? Here you are in the middle of your uncomfortable moment, but it's like, it's no big deal. And when you just kind of joke around and just be comfortable with it, then you're like, what was I so worried about in the first place? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And it gives you just that, courage to go out and also to, dream a little bit bigger and say like, oh, well, if I did this, what else am I capable of doing?
Exactly. And you're developing courage, breeds healthy self-confidence through small successful attempts in a proven system, which breeds a healthy mindset, a healthy outlook of who you really are. And, it's okay to be proud of yourself. It's not a narcissistic thing. Like if you focus on a marathon and you ran a marathon, you're going to inspire yourself and not only others. So I think it's important, really, at the end of the day, what you're talking about is you want to be an inspiration to yourself. If you are a single mom, awesome, own it. But don't own it. But don't own it in the fact like, I can't afford anything and no one takes care of me. I need a man in my life. Like, no, own it. Just be like, I'm a single mom, but I'm going to be the best single mom I could possibly be for my children, and I'm going to live a life of abundance. And if a man comes into my life down the road, or a partner, cool. If not, cool. So you just own who you are, and and it's not an ego thing. It's just this confidence by yourself. If you're married, then, whatever, you own your job, like, this is my job as a wife or a husband, and this is their job. Like, I'm going to own it. Like, I'm going to be the best wife I can be, but I'm definitely not going to be that kind of wife. I'm going to be this kind of wife. Like, for me, I wanted to be a husband that wasn't a beer belly, watching football, watching golf and playing golf once a year with my beer belly hanging out. It's just, I'm always going to be in shape. At 85, I'll be in shape. So you just own what you really want and you start doing it. So that's courage, self-confidence, but doing it over and over again. People are going to be asking you, knocking on your door saying, hey, can you help me? I really am inspired by you. And could you help lead me? So that's really what a leader is. You're building influence. So I appreciate you so much, Tiera. You did an awesome job.
Yes, thank you so much.
Is there one last thing that you want to share with the audience, or just like one tip or tip of the day or something that they can take home, a nugget or something that you can share today before we end the interview?
I think you touched on a little bit, is just, being confident in who you are, and just, if you're not liking something about, where you're at currently, just like, realize where you're at and how are you going to be better tomorrow. And I think that by doing that, like, day by day, eventually, you're going to have that into your routine, and you're going to wake up and be the person that you wanted to be. And so just go out there and be confident and own your truth and, be your unique self and just be better than you were yesterday.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you.
You seem like you've been doing this for a long time. So are you lying? Are you lying to me? This wasn't your first interview? You liar. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, cool.
With you, it was.
Yeah. Well, great job. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We also appreciate your time. Hopefully got some nuggets or value out of this. And if you did, tag somebody, tag a friend, tag 2, tag 5, tag 100. I don't care. But definitely get the word out about the You vs. You show. And definitely get the word about Tiera Martinez. Now, Tiera, this is your Facebook page here. Where can they follow you on Instagram? Is it the same first and last name handle?
Yep, Tiera Martinez.
Okay, cool. All right, well, follow her on Instagram if you'd like. She's got a lot of great content, and she's an incredible valued member and founding member of our institute, the Inside Out Institute, which is a world-class organization of energy healing and also transformational leadership all over the world. Now we're in 9 countries worldwide in just a few months. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching the You vs. You show. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Tiera. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, guys.